What's up, everybody? I am Kayvon Izami. Thank you so much for tuning in to Best Bets of the Week 2 NFL slate. This is Fighting Chance Fantasy. Appreciate everybody out there that is tuning into the show. I want to just give a quick thank you to the Fighting Chance Fantasy crew and those that are able to give me this platform to have some fun and talk some Week 2 bets. So let's have some fun here. Let's make some money. Look, Week 2 is fascinating because it's what I like to call overreaction week, right? You see all these things happen in week 1 and you get upsets, you get favorites winning easily, you get a bunch of different storylines. So how do the books, how does Vegas react to that? Well, we have to find out how they're reacting and use that in our benefit. Is it an overreaction? Is it an underreaction? Those are the things that I look for as we head into week 2. And now that we're here, Sunday is here. We're all very happy. Let's look into some of the overreactions and underreactions that I found in ways to exploit it. So how this show works, I will give you guys a bunch of bets that I love, anything from totals to spreads to props. You will find it all here in my beautiful living room behind me, as you can see. They do well with these green screens. I got to tell you. All right, so let's get into it. Let's get right into it here for the first play of the day. And this one is one that a lot of people are going to scratch their head about. And I've got a couple this week like that. So get ready for those. But those are, to me, the best ways to bet NFL. The ones that people don't expect. The ones that when you tell them you're betting this, your friends say, huh? Why would you do that? That's the type of reaction I want when I tell someone who I'm betting on, because the NFL is so unpredictable like that. And it's okay to go with something different. It's okay to go with something that scratches your head as long as you have the facts and the resources to really break it down and feel confident about it. And I do with this play here. And that is the New England Patriots -2.5 at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Look, a lot of people are sitting around saying, how in the world would Kayvon take the Patriots after what we saw week 1 against the Dolphins, which is one of the most terrible performances we've seen offensively by the Patriots? Other than the Dallas Cowboys, maybe the Patriots were the worst offensive team in week 1. I think it's fair to say that. So you're sitting here and you're saying, okay, everything went terrible for the Patriots in week 1. Then on the other side of things, the Steelers went into Cincinnati, which I predicted, by the way, and beat the Cincinnati Bengals, who, if my memory tells me right, were just in the Super Bowl last week. So put 2 and 2 together here. If the Patriots looked so bad in week 1 and the Steelers just beat the team that went to the Super Bowl last year in Cincinnati, well, why in the world would the Patriots be favored in Pittsburgh this week? How does that make any sense, ladies and gentlemen? Someone explain that to me. It doesn't. And that's why something's weird about this line. The Patriots should not be favored here. And the fact that they are tells me that Vegas likes the Patriots more than the public does. That Vegas is putting more trust into Bill Belichick and Mac Jones more than you and I are. And I can buy that. I don't love what the Patriots have going on offensively, especially with their play callers and all that stuff. But I do think the Steelers are going to take a very big hit from losing TJ Watt. And I do think one of the best bets that you can make is betting on Bill Belichick against a shaky quarterback like Mitch Trubisky. Mitch Trubisky's good. He's not great. He's fine. He can get the job done. But when he goes against an excellent defensive mind like Bill Belichick, Belichick can cause a lot of problems for someone like Mitch Trubisky. I think that Patriots defense gets all over Mitch Trubisky today. I really like the Patriots -2.5 in Pittsburgh to get their first win of the season, and both teams go 1-1. I get it. It's a weird one, but like I said, those weird ones are sometimes the best plays. So for the first play of the day, give me the Patriots -2.5 in Pittsburgh. After that, let's move on to another one. Look, let's just get all the stinky, the gross ones out of the way now. This is one that is really, really bad. And if you're going to bet this one, you might want to put a hoodie on. You know, if you're going in public to make this bet, put a hoodie on and put some sunglasses on. Just try and hide your identity a little bit. You don't want people seeing you place this ticket in the beginning. Once it wins, take that ticket and flash it around to everyone and brag about the winnings, because that's what we do here. And this one, I'm riding the stinky, the terrible New York Jets. Jets, Jets. I am taking the Jets +6 against the Cleveland Browns. This is one of my favorite situational spots as a handicapper. So what that means is there's a couple of ways that handicappers break down bets. What I mean by that is you can handicap things analytically, or you can handicap things situationally, or you can do both like I do. I like to take both into account. A situational handicap is you're looking for areas of a storyline or things going on that you can use in your benefit. For example, this is what I like to call a sandwich situational spot. And what that means is a sandwich situational spot means that the Cleveland Browns are in what I call a sandwich game. What that means is week 1, they went and took on Baker Mayfield, their former quarterback. Everybody knows about that game. The juices were high. There was a lot going on in that game. And the Browns really wanted to beat their former quarterback, right? They really wanted to beat their former quarterback. Well, they did. So now they have the Jets coming in. But let's look ahead to week 3. Week 3, they play their biggest rival, the Pittsburgh Steelers, on Thursday Night Football. So short rest against their biggest rival, Thursday Night Football. They're not looking at the Jets here. They're looking to just get out with a win and get healthy and be ready for Thursday night against a divisional opponent that will be a very important game in the division race. So that is what I like to call a sandwich spot. You have a tough game in the beginning, and you have a tough game at the end. And what's sandwiched between the middle? The New York Jets that are going to be overlooked, that actually didn't play that bad of a game last Sunday. The Ravens just are a much better team. I think the Jets can be very competitive here, and I think they might actually be able to win outright, possibly, if they can get a couple breaks going their way. But if not, we have the 6 points to our favor. Give me the Jets +6 against the Cleveland Browns. I told you that's a tough one there, but winning money is the best thing we can do, and that is all that matters. Let's move on to one last spread play here before we take on our props. And again, this is one that people are going to scratch their head about again, and I understand that, but just hear my analysis and then you'll see why I'm on this. I'm on the Arizona Cardinals +6 against the Las Vegas Raiders, and this is why here. I have a saying, a lot of people have this saying actually, so I don't want to take full credit of it, but it is no team is as worst as their worst game, and no team is as great as their best game. The Cardinals could not look any worse last week. They were terrible. They were atrocious. They looked like the worst team in the league. They had a terrible game plan. I don't know what they were thinking about blitzing Patrick Mahomes as many times as they did. It was a rough game for the Arizona Cardinals. Well, everybody's going to look at that game and say the Cardinals are terrible, Kyler Murray's overrated, Cliff Kingsbury sucks, all that stuff. And guess what? That might be true. But this line, you're telling me that if home field advantage counts as 1 or 2 points, you're telling me that the Raiders are 4 points better than the Cardinals? When the Raiders are banged up all across the board, their offensive line has a bunch of issues, their defense still looks very shaky, and they have shown in the past that they have trouble stopping a running quarterback. So I'm getting 6 points because a team looked so bad in week 1. This goes to what I said in the beginning of the show. Overreaction. This is way too much of an overreaction. This should be a 3 or 4 point spread at most. At most. So I'm getting 2 extra points here with a guy in Kyler Murray that is pissed off with how he looked in week 1. they're going to game plan better. They're going to look better. They're going to come out more aware with more hunger. And I don't know if they get the win outright, but the Raiders have a lot of issues, especially with injuries right now. This is a tough game for both teams. I think it's a close game. I like the Cardinals +6 here to go with my you're never as bad as your worst game and you're never as good as your best game. The Cardinals are not as bad as we saw in week 1, and they're going to show that today against the Las Vegas Raiders. All right, that is, I am Kayvon Izami. You can follow me on Twitter at K1_sports. This is the Fighting Chance Fantasy NFL betting show for week number 2. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you all are having a fantastic Sunday, getting your fantasy lineups ready to roll, getting your last bets in as we head into the 1 o'clock slate here. Let's move on to some of my prop bets of the day, and then we'll get on out of here. Prop bet that everyone is probably going to ask, who is this guy? I'm taking Kyle Granson over 18.5 receiving yards. Now, a lot of you might say, who is Kyle Granson? Well, Kyle Granson is a wide receiver for the Indianapolis Colts. The Indianapolis Colts are without Michael Pittman. They're without Alec Pierce. So who is Matt Ryan going to throw the ball to? I mean, he's got to throw the ball to someone. The Jaguars know that they have all these injuries. They're going to load up the box and try and stop Jonathan Taylor. Matt Ryan's got to get that ball out to someone. Kyle Granson over 18.5 yards is one of my favorite plays of the day. Granson saw 7 targets last week for 22 yards. 7 targets, and that was with Pittman in the game. Now Pittman's out of the game. He's going to see even more than that. Give me Kyle Granson over 18.5 receiving yards. I really like this play. Matt Ryan's going to have to throw that football. They've got a lot of injuries out there. I think Kyle Granson can step up and easily get over this 18.5 total. 18.5 receiving yards for Kyle Granson. Another play for the Indianapolis Colts I like is Nyheim Hines over 30.5 receiving yards. Again, this just goes to the same thing. They are going to use Nyheim out of the backfield as much as possible today. Michael Pittman is a really good wide receiver. They got to make up for that, ladies and gentlemen. They've got to make up for that some way, somehow, and they can't just run the ball all day long because the Jacksonville Jaguars know that's going to happen. They've got to open it up. They've got to throw out of the backfield. They've got to throw down the field. Kyle Granson and Nyheim Hines are going to take advantage of that. And both of them are going to go over their receiving total. That's Nyheim Hines over 30.5 receiving yards. And the last play of the day for me is DK Metcalf over 4.5 receptions. DK Metcalf went 7 for 7 on Monday night. 7 targets thrown his way, caught all 7 passes. It was very clear very quickly that Geno Smith will be looking DK's way a ton this season. He clearly trusts DK. He clearly feels that DK is his number one guy, and he is going to spread the ball out to DK as much as possible this season. Because of that, I think that this is going to be a game where the Seahawks get down and that they're going to have to throw the ball to come back. They're going to have to look DK's way a ton. And for DK to have to get 5 receptions, that seems like he can definitely get that done. I love DK Metcalf over 4.5 receptions against the San Francisco 49ers in week 2. That is all. Let's do a quick recap. Once again, I'm Kayvon Izami. You can follow me on Twitter at Kayvon_sports. Let's do a quick recap here of our best bets for week 2. So we have the New England Patriots -2.5 on the road in Pittsburgh. We've got, yes, the lowly Jets +6 against the Cleveland Browns. It's going to be gross. It's going to be ugly, but it's going to win, ladies and gentlemen. And then the final one is we've got the Arizona Cardinals +6 against the Las Vegas Raiders. We believe that Arizona will look like a complete different team this week, and they will show up and maybe even get a win in Las Vegas. On to our prop bets. We've got Kyle Granson, wide receiver for the Indianapolis Colts, over 18.5 receiving yards. No Pittman, no Pierce. Matt Ryan's got to throw the ball to someone. Kyle Granson had 7 targets last week for 22 yards. I think he sees even more. Pittman was in last week. No Pittman this week. Same game there. Nyheim Hines over 30.5 receiving yards. Exact same thing as the Kyle Granson play. Matt Ryan's got to distribute that football. They're going to use Nyheim in the backfield a lot. 30.5 should be much doable for Mr. Nyheim Hines, who went to NC State in college, right down the road from me. And the last play of the day is DK Metcalf over 4.5 receptions. He went 7 for 7 on Monday night. Geno Smith threw the ball to him 7 times. He caught all 7 passes. It was very clear that Geno is going to be looking Metcalf's way a ton this season. Yep, give me DK to get at least 5 receptions against the San Francisco 49ers, which we believe they will be down against. So they're going to have to throw to get back into it. 5 receptions or more for Mr. DK Metcalf. That is all. Thank you so much for tuning in. We will be back next Sunday to break down week 3. Enjoy, have fun, and let's win some money.